In the last video, we learned a lot about cube lubricants, and literally every question you would have about them. Lubes are really the basis of a good cube, but there are two more things whom without, cubes really wouldn't be the same as they are today. That's right, tensioning and magnets. In this video, we'll be thoroughly covering tensioning and magnets. Tensioning, the balance between an uncontrollable and a slow cube, whom without, cubes would literally be garbage and likely uneven on each side. And magnets, at first called a gimmick, but now used by literally every cuber to achieve outstanding times. Let's go through both of these areas and answer all the questions you have on these two areas, as well as showing the evolution of magnets in Speedcubes. Tensioning has been a huge part of setting up cubes for as long as I can remember. And rightfully so, because a cube that is too tight might be slow and rocky and just very, very bad. While a cube that is way too loose will likely be very uncontrollable and might even pop if it isn't that modern. So overall, the balance in tensioning is crucial. Whoa, dude, that cube was expensive. So that the cube, ignoring its setup, is the right speed and intact enough to not lock up but also to not pop. How to tension the cube? Well, take the center cap of the cube off. Okay. Bro.
I can't even take this off.
And you will see a screw. Now take a screwdriver that fits that screw and turn it right to tighten it and left to loosen it. You would want to occasionally turn the cube during this process so you know that your tensions are good for you. Because overall preference is key and you want the tensions you want. But nowadays with all these modern scientific weird cubes, there are adjustability features, which lets you tension the cube. Sometimes here it is not possible to find the in-between setting, which is a drawback. Too loose. Too tight. I need the in-between setting. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. But then again,
presumably there would be a point where you would find a setting that's close enough and none of the other settings are are closer than the one that you found, and you would be crazy to demand something slightly different. Like, I can't. Yeah, so let's say that I have a tornado and it's like 1 through 5, and I really want something like 3.2, right? I would consider that want kind of unreasonable. Like, so it'd be like, come on, dude, just pick 3. It's close enough. You're a human. Like, are you actually gonna know the difference? I guarantee, like, if you actually had a tornado like set at 3.2 or something, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference in a blind test. So yeah, I would I'd probably guess, but I would not be very good at that exercise. So I think like there's definitely, I feel like adjustment systems are fine these days because there is a benefit to them. They're fast to adjust, they're consistent and reliable. Of course you have to sacrifice the in-betweens, but I think that sacrifice is reasonable.
So overall, this allows for a consistent tensioning experience, that too with ease. For example, it is easy to note what setting you are on here, so you have equal settings on all of the sides of the cube, which is really good. This is very important because if some sides are looser or tighter than others, that would really impact the performance and reliability of the cube. And then some sides would be fast, uncontrollable, some slow and locky, and they would just, the feelings wouldn't be on point and very unequal and uneven and weird. And that can really throw people off during a speed solve where they're turning very fast these days. And one throw off is all the solve needs to go from 0 to 0. If that makes sense. Especially considering that nowadays people turn very, very fast, and that throw off would just ruin the flow. Who knows, because of that one throw off in your solve, you might miss your PB single of sub 4 official competition. Anything is possible in the world today, so kids, tension your cubes correctly. But how do you tension very, very accurately with the traditional tensioning system? Because it's very hard to get, the exact same tensions with a manual screwdriver unless you're very experienced. That must be hard, right? Well, you're right. I talked to Rowe Hessler, the head of Cubicle Pro Shop, objectively the best premium cube line, an overall cubing legend, and he gave some really good insights on some questions I had on tensioning.
My process is pretty much from the cube taken apart, you can kind of see the depth of like the threading of the screw at the base, and you can also judge it by the top of the screw and how close it is to like the top of the centerpiece, if that makes any sense. So I kind of eyeball it first based on that, so it's like a visual comparison between all the screws. So I do that first, and then once the cube's assembled and it's lubed and I'm turning it, then I make any little small tweaks like that. So that's my process for trying to get the closest tensions possible.
So this answers the question I had before of how to tension evenly, and you should use this as a very nice example and answer to really tension your cubes accurately. Remember that sub 4 example. You don't want to be missing that WR2 spot. Overall, experimenting and tensioning is key. You need to find the tensions on the cube that works for you. And whatever the tension is, it really does not matter as long as it works for you. So really, spend time working on your tensions on your main speed cubes. So how do you decide which tension to have your cube on, depending on what cube it is? Does that even matter? Okay, so I got this information from Kunal, absolute big cube legend, so thank you to him for that. Definitely follow his socials, link in the description. So if you have a rough turning style and do not really get nervous in competitions, then looser tensions would be better for you because they would also provide better corner cutting. But if you do get nervous, then tighter tensions would be better because they would avoid some mistakes you can make in some solves or forgive those mistakes to a better extent. But if you have a light turning style, tighter tensions would probably suit you better because when you have a light turning style, you don't really need that much corner cutting, right? And that can also forgive some of the mistakes you make in your solve, perhaps due to inaccurate turning. Though if you do not need the reliability of the tight tensions and have good finger tricks and a good grip, then looser tensions are probably right for you. Very well, and that should really answer this question, and you should really use this answer to help you when you're confused which tensions to have your cube on depending on what cube it is. I don't know why you will have that ever because you should be experimenting anyway, so I don't know why I had that section. I don't know. So that is enough information on tensioning, and I genuinely think this will be a really good guide to help you learn about tensioning, the factors that impact it, and also how to do it if you didn't know already. Perhaps this was more for newer cubers. My god. You're a slow cuber in this scene. There you go. And by the way, if you're a new cuber here, welcome to the community. It is very wholesome, very nice, and I hope you have a very good experience cubing. Now moving on to magnets and speed cubes. This has nothing to do with magnets. It has to do with a magnitude, which really, is geography, and I don't know what I'm saying. The concept first started in 2016 with the Moyu magnetic pyramid. Since then, the journey and the evolution of magnets has been so immense and so powerful, it has truly changed the cubing community forever. I actually got the first magnetic cube from the Cubicle with a Weilong GTS M standing for magnetic.
What's up guys, it's Dude Cuber.
Ignoring the fact that I sounded like a
Chipmunk.
after turning and breaking that cube in, I could really see what all the fuss was about. Fuss? Oh wait, let me get into that. At first, magnets and speed cubes were criticized for their price and even called a gimmick. Though this was just done from competitors for marketing purposes. Yo boss, company released a magnetic cube. Good luck to them for advertising that. Well, it does seem innovative, so don't even think of adding those weird little things to our cube line. They're magnets, Unlike charges attract, like charges repel. Well, I know that. But they cost so much more in the cube. Like, all cubes are gonna be like GAN cubes now, and GAN cubes are gonna be like Ultra GAN cubes? Each cube will have an M behind its name. What do you think the community will think of that? And do you think the cubing community will pay double the price for these unnecessary little things in the Rubik's Cube that attract to other little things that are itself In a Rubik's Cube? There are gonna be magnets in Rubik's Cubes? What do you have to say to that? They say it'll make it more stable, but clearly magnets will make it harder to turn the Rubik's Cube. Well, just add lighter magnets. Don't question me. I'm disappointed in your ideas. You may leave now. Okay, have a good... Oh, wait. Sit back down. Coming? Not so quick. You know what? I think we should go to social media and call it a gimmick. We'll look good, our sales will rise, and we'll prove that these magnets are just weird, unlogical, scientific innovations that these companies are doing just to boost their sales in the name of innovation. And literally every cube remains a magnetic cube now. Yes! In literally every event. Yes, even clock. Not that one. Not this one either. Yeah, there we go. But why are magnets so good? Well, I talked to Phil, the CEO of The Cubicle, the biggest cube retailer in the entire world. Very respectable, very credible.
Oh shoot.
And here's what he had to say on it.
Magnets are useful because they provide stability, but I think most importantly, they're simple to manufacture, as in it's simple to manufacture a magnetic cube these days. And so the cost of implementing the technology is not very high. I know there are some technologies that are like more theoretical that would be a lot more expensive, and then you would have to start weighing the costs and the benefits of doing that. But in this case, you just start gluing stuff in the cube and it makes it better, so why not, right? So, I mean, at first it was magnets, let's put them into cubes, and then they started worrying about like, hey, how do we add like an adjustable feature to it? And then it's like, okay, how do we vary the place in which we put magnets? And then it just, you know, there are a lot of other things you can think about, but that's kind of the progress of magnets, you know, throughout the ages. Or is it like 4 years?
That's right, magnets make cubes feel much more together and stable. And really, I have first-hand experience here, so you better believe me. Due to that, the cubes are also a lot more reliable. Before that, cubes were flimsy and are also very likely more uncontrollable during speed solves. Magnets provide a really nice bump to the cube and also attract to other magnets in the cube and in other pieces, and nowadays even the core, making the cube so much more stable. Nowadays, there are even adjustable magnets. This makes it easier to control the cube during speed solves. Slowly at first, but very quickly from there on out, magnets took over the cube hardware industry. And then magnets were placed in literally every speed cube. Every cuber started making magnetic cubes, broke personal bests, national records, continental records, world records, championship podiums and wins, you name it, literally everything. Who knew that these little things in speed cubes would go so far in the community? It is insane. Magnetic cubes are doing so well. They're breaking records like crazy, and they're selling like crazy. That's what I said, the magnets are really a smart innovation. They make the cube so much more stable. The Cubicle, like every other time, were the first to get this innovation again. Screw this. Boss, I think we should really... Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Huh? Well... And they are nowhere near becoming irrelevant. And the Cubicle was actually the first one to show the courage to drive these new innovations in cubing, to push them further so that so many cubers worldwide would have such a better cubing experience and get better times. Even when they were discouraged by competitors, calling magnets and speed cubes a gimmick. So really, whether you're sponsored by the Cubicle or not, whether you've ever ordered from the Cubicle or not, you should really be thankful to this company for, you know, helping the cubing community by so much, not just magnets, but so many other things. So this, my friends, shows quite a bit of details on tensioning and magnets, as well as their evolution in speed cubes. I hope you enjoyed this part, I hope you learned something, and I hope this helps you out. I also hope that you're waiting for the last part of this series on adjustability features and how to set up the cube. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and be sure to use the discount code TANHD
Oh shoot.
for not only a 5% discount off your order, but also for a free critique or shoutout. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye. Whew, finally done. Let's go. Okay, you just need to post it now. What? Maglev? A maglev system uses magnetic fields to levitate and accelerate a vehicle along a track?